What's up, folks? Welcome back to the stream. It's Monday. We are indulging in a little bit of mayhem today. Not a huge update from 40K preview season. We see a new miniature as well as some previews of new rules for Astra Militarum detachments, which I'm going to level with you, chat. We've seen some really cool updates in the past. Interesting game design. Powerful combo enablers for your Astra Militarum or your Imperial Agents armies. And then we also have these things, which are, there's something, man. They're, they are there, you know? Certainly something that was printed. But we can hop in. I guess real quick, we're going to start off with the least exciting of the updates, I guess. There's a new chaplain. Here's the chaplain from the new starter set, I guess. He looks neat. I don't know. There's something about the most recent like spate of chaplains. And the same goes for Lamarty's, I think, as well. That was released last year, I think, or the year before, something like that. But the most updated Lamarty's that we got from Blood Angels, where they just look kind of chunky. Does that make sense, folks? Like, if we look at the Lamarty's miniature, there's I don't know what it is about these guys. Maybe it's the skull. But like, here we go. They look sort of like an action figure. You know those what were they called? Action Rangers, I think. Action figures from back in the day. Nope. Is it Safety Rangers? Maybe was that it? It was like they were action figures. So they were like you would get firefighters and scuba divers and EMTs, like medical professionals people. I'm gonna try to find it real quick. Unfortunately, if you look up anything, it was something Ranger, and now I can't remember what it was. I never had them as a kid, but I had a cousin or something who had them, and they were so wild because they had these big feet. I'm just gonna look up action figures with big feet. What could go wrong? And Rescue Heroes. I was so wrong. I guess it was Rescue, not Rangers. Rescue Heroes is what it was called. And the new chaplain models give me the exact same vibe. Let's see if we can find some pictures of them. Look at this fucking guy. Here's the eBay. Here's the eBay listing. He's vintage now. But like, you sort of get what I'm saying, right? There's this shape language that they have where they're very round. And I don't know what it is, but it's like I only get the vibe from the chaplains, and I think it must be because they have all this extra like shit on them. So they give you that really bottom heavy look with all of these extra bars and stuff, and then the skull being less angular of a face, like of a focal point as the normal helmet, I think does that, but. Man, does it? I don't know. Like, it's an aesthetic criticism, I guess, rather than anything necessarily concrete. But it's a weird thing. I don't know. They just look like toys more than anything. But it is what it is. I think some people like them and whatever. Another thing I noticed about this one, which I laughed really hard on, is if you zoom in really hard. Let's see if we can just open this separately. Was that better? Let's zoom in and then move it. He's got schmutz all over him. I don't know why this made me laugh, but like somebody like didn't use their Selsum Blue today or whatever, and like got dandruff all over the top. Like, it doesn't have it on the shoulder pad. I guess there's some a little bit here. But like, it's not on all the black surfaces, so it's clearly like dust. And it just made it into the final product photography. We gotta take a little spot fix tool and get rid of that. I laughed. I think like, it could be weathering or something, but it's so irregular and it's only on some of the surfaces, on the top surfaces of the model, here and here and here and here and here. I was like, that's funny. Would I be able to do better? Absolutely not. I'm a filthy pig. But on the product photography of $1 billion company, it does make me laugh a little bit. Anyway, chat, that's the new Chaplain. He looks sort of silly, I guess. We can talk about these new Armoured detachments. I hope that there's something in this article that I'm missing because obviously the detachments are not fully released. So there's a lot to talk about in them that we don't quite have yet. But I'm excited to get into what we do. However, what we do have is not quite inspiring, in my opinion. So there are 2 new detachments coming with the new Armoured release set. The first one is Armored Infantry, all about piling ranks of guardsmen into nimble transports and thundering them up the battlefield. A tactic that has served the Imperium well on Armageddon and countless theaters of war. We want to do the Armageddon Steel Legion stuff. Squadron Command expands the utility of command squads by folding squadron units into their order structure, opening up the ability to power up the ranks of Leman Russ without needing a tank commander or Lord Solar Leontis in your army roster. Unironically good, right? That is reasonable. We get to Master Vox out vehicle orders now. That is solid. However, something we have to consider that's very important is that likely we will not have access to additional orders, and we will not have access to out-of-phase orders, because those are grizzled company specials, or in some cases, a combined regiment. So, these orders are more flexible than they have been previously, but they don't necessarily have the same power level as we've seen from other very powerful Astra Militarum detachments. However, reducing the necessity to take tank commanders is a big deal. I don't want to downplay that. That's good. That's just good. In addition, the detachment rule also gives any squadron units smaller than Leman Russ a new order on my signal. So this is, it says it gives it 2 squadron units, but it allows you to target squadron units with them, I believe is how it works here. It just basically means that all your officers have this order. It doesn't require them to be a vehicle, to my reading anyway. So that's a little bit of a confusing sentence, I think. It lets them dart around whenever the enemy gets close, whether that's to avoid reach or chase them down. So, on my signal is an order that can be issued to armored skirmisher units, which is the keyword given to any squadron unit, excluding artillery, that has and excluding units with a wounds characteristic of 13 or higher. So, importantly, this effect does not work on Leman Russ, right? It only works on your APCs and your Sentinels and your Hippogriff stuff. Your AFVs. Not your battle tanks. The other thing to keep in mind is that this is purely a defensive mechanic that your opponent can play around. So, it is in direct competition with any of the other orders that you could be issuing that are doing things like making you faster, making you more accurate. I would say hitting harder in melee, but you're not going to do that. Giving you a bonus OC, all that stuff. And given the fact that the only way that we can access this out of phase is going to be by dropping off officers from the transport, because this is command squad specific, at least according to this, and I believe that's the case. Oh, no, just kidding. This is any officer. So we can't do this off of Gaunt's Ghost, I believe. So there is a little bit of utility there. That's a little bit better than I give it credit for. I took the stupid marketing article at its word, chat. Oh, I can't believe it. Last time I made that mistake. It says your command squads gain squadron orders, and I was like, well, that's not very good. We're required to put command squads into our transports to make this work. But it works on any officer, so we can use we could use like Gaunt's Ghost or other stuff coming out of Strategic Reserve or Deep Strike in order to apply this end of movement phase. Now, the reason that that's relevant is that this is purely defensive, and so you want to be able to apply it out of sequence, but it seems to me that likely the only way to do that is going to be doing reserve or setup on the battlefield. Chicanery. Otherwise, it's just a reactive move that you have to pre-tell your opponent, which, I guess is fine. Like, it's not a bad effect. However, in comparison to plus 3 inches of movement on a detachment where you're trying to deliver, infantry to the fight by moving your transports really fast and then disembarking, it's not that exciting, to be honest. But there are going to be some instances where a hippogriff, for example, can like run up and they can shoot, and then they can fall back after they shoot, and then you can put this on them so when your opponent comes in, they fall back even further. That's like, I don't know. It might be cool. It might be cool. But is it massively transformative to the army? I don't think so. Like, getting a reactive move with your Torox by jumping through a bunch of hoops is not something that I think many people are that excited about, to be perfectly honest. So maybe I'm wrong about that, but it is what it is. Anyway, here we have some stratagems shown off for them. After disembarking from the transport, guardsmen can level powerful barrages of gunfire. They can take the enemy quite by surprise. Gaining bonus to wound rolls through the use of opening salvo. They're also adept at using overwhelming combined firepower to crack the toughest of targets. And carefully use the combined fire stratagem. We'll see even last against the back of Chimera, wounding Space Marines on a 3. So, opening salvo. An asteroid arm unit. Importantly, this is not keyed to regiment. So we could do things like give it to Ogren, which is neat. That has disembarked from a transport, has not been selected to shoot. It is your shooting phase only. It doesn't work in melee, unfortunately. Until the end of the phase, each time a model unit makes an attack, add 1 to wound. Unironically, good strat. Happy with that one. The other one is combined fire. In your shooting phase, after an armored skirmisher unit from your army has shot, you can target that armored skirmisher unit, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks, and until the end of the phase, the enemy unit loses the benefit of cover, and armored skirmisher units from your army gain +2 strength when targeting it. So, it doesn't benefit your infantry at all. However, or it does, actually, because it strips cover permanently, and it doesn't just strip cover from armored skirmisher stuff. Although, we could also, speaking of armored skirmishers, I guess the Hellhounds also do count for that, so that's something, at least, I don't know. Is it good? Probably not. But it's there. However, it does buff up your armored skirmisher attacks, so there are situations in which you could, for example, plink this into something with a lasgun from a Chimera or whatever, a Torox or the stubber off of your Centaur RSV, and then you pile in Hippogriff Meltagun salvos, right? Because they shoot 3 Meltagun shots apiece. That go to strength 11, ignore cover. I don't know. There's something there. It is like it being armored skirmisher specific means that it is very limited in its use case, because really the hippogriff is like, it's like hippogriffs and what is in that category, I guess, is like important to note. Hydras, I think, like a lot of the Chimera based battle tanks or like support tanks get it, as well as the transports themselves. Torox primes, I guess. And then I think Sentinels are the other big one. Let's take a peek through here. Our Astra Militarum unit list. So if we go down the line, it is squadron specific, so it requires squadron keyword, and it's non-artillery, so I don't believe Basilisk counts. They don't get it. The Chimera will get it. The Cyclops demolition vehicle, I don't believe is squadron keyworded, right? It is not. Yeah. I don't know that would matter, but it would be funny. Giving those guys a reactive move actually might be silly. So Hellhound is a big one. Hydra is another big one, I believe. All of the Leman Russ variants do not count. The Manticore, giving Manticores ignore cover may be good. Scout Sentinels, Torox Prime. I ran out of room at the bottom. In the Wyvern, I assume that doesn't have the artillery keyword. Oh, it does. Okay, so sorry, Wyvern. And I blame that. That probably means the Manticore doesn't have it either. Yeah. So in addition to Hippogriffs and Centaurs, I believe that the total count is going to be Hellhound, Hydra, non-artillery, Sentinel variants. I guess Armored Sentinels, right? So the both Sentinel variants will get it, and the new stuff as well. So I guess the question is whether or not there's any like particular data sheets that really want to be using this. Ryan G, thank you for
6,931 donated $5 through Super Chat. We're getting ever closer to the Ripper Swarm detachment.
Hell yeah. Let's go Ripper Swarm detachment. Isn't that supposed to be assimilation swarm, chat? Isn't that assimilation? I think that the Sentinels have a kind of a limited attack volume. The Hippogriffs at least attack several times, which is neat if you're taking like the multi-metal units. But the benefit of the stratagem is that it affects multiple units without targeting them. So being able to apply +2 strength is pretty good. In that capacity, I don't really think that we're like super excited about these profiles. We do go to strength 11. Strength 11 ignore cover is pretty good, but it is only 4 shots. So the Hydra, I don't know if we're like that excited about it for 100 points. Maybe we are, but this weapon profile, I think in general, is a little bit underpowered, which is the problem. But I do think I like it on the Hellhound. Being able to get Hellhounds either to strength 11 on the Melt-A-Gun or to strength, what do they go to strength 8 on the Flamer? If we take the Inferno Cannon, yeah, strength 8, AP2, ignore cover. I mean, it already ignores cover, but it is what it is. That's something there. And Valkyrie has 14 wounds and can't get it. Well, Valkyrie is also not squadron, right? Unless it is, and I'm stupid. But I don't think the aircraft gets squadron keyword. No, they don't. Yeah, it requires that you are in a squadron. So it's not all vehicles. It doesn't check all vehicles. Otherwise, like you could maybe look at some of the lighter airplanes and stuff. Centaur RSV gunboats get it. Yeah, that's probably the number one place to be, where you can go to strength 14 las cannon teams, or you can fire like lighter stuff out of there, strength 10 plasma guns and stuff. I like that. I think that's pretty good. It does work with the firing deck, yeah, because the when you use a firing deck, the weapon is considered to be equipped to the unit. The armored skirmisher unit, in that case the Centaur, is the one firing, so it does get all the benefits. That's why when you take aim it, you also then provide it the +1 to hit as well. So you could get some mileage out of the las cannons in there, like because those things can like pack 2 las cannons or something, right? Or 2 las cannon teams, I should say. So like 6 las cannon shots. You go to strength 14. Ignore cover. All right. Hitting on 3s. That's it. That's not too bad. I'll buy it. Oh, you can also put the Krieg ones in there. The Krieg heavy weapon teams can go in, and they go to strength 7. Is that right? The Krieg heavy weapon teams is strength 5 base. Yeah. Strength 7. Flamethrower shots to kill like Terminators and stuff. Interesting. All right. So it definitely feels like open topped is where we're trying to get with these to get big damage out of those units. I like that. That's definitely a little bit better. That's better than I think I would otherwise give it credit for sure. Rattling sniper rifles, indeed. They did change the interaction where you could fire and fade into a transport and then double tap, right? Otherwise, that would legitimately like be okay. Imagine you like take a Rattling sniper and you disembark the sniper team and you shoot with opening salvo for +1 to wound, and then you shoot and Scarper back into the Centaur, and then you combine fire the Centaur, so you shoot again at +2 strength. You can't do that, to be clear. They made it so that firing deck doesn't fire a weapon that's already been shot that turn. But that was for the Impulsor gunboats running multiple Eliminator squads inside them. Unfortunately, that was finally nerfed. It took a while, though. Very funny. But that's not the only detachment that we have. Start of edition Eliminators. What a time to be alive. What a time of your life. In fairness, I don't know. I don't know if I ever saw it like do that well. I think it won like one GT or something. It was just like a weird rules inconsistency that everyone thought would be wrong. Only one Krieg heavy weapon team can go in. Yeah, but you can combo them with like engineers and stuff, right? So like you can also make use of the remainder of space in there in those situations. Anyway, the other thing to keep in mind too is that this targets a unit that then applies this as a debuff to whatever you're shooting at. So the or applies it as a buff, I guess. It doesn't matter. So you can get it on your whole army. It just only targets a single enemy unit. And it's also not range restricted as well. So you can like plink in a hunter killer missile from like a random fucking chimera somewhere. And that hits and you get the it also it's actually nice timing. I hope that they change more stuff to do this. It's after an armored skirmisher unit has shot, which means you get to see if you hit and what you hit and how much damage you did before you decide to use the strat. So if you go, here goes my hippogriff unit, blam, blam, blam. I didn't do as much damage as I was expecting. Now I can combine fire off that hippogriff unit, and then I can give the buff to the rest of the army so we can make sure we kill it. Or you can just like shoot a heavy bolter down range, boop, boop, boop. But you're only hit on 4s or whatever because you're Astra Militarum, maybe 5s this edition. If you miss, you can just not use the strat. You save the CP, and you do it with the next unit. So I like the timing a lot too. And then it affects your whole army when targeting that one enemy unit. So against big things, knights and stuff, it's going to be super duper powerful, which is good. So like when you're considering like, oh, I don't get that many shots out of any one particular armored skirmisher unit, it doesn't really matter so much. You only really care that the target unit is going to be hit hard. I guess, unfortunately, we don't get, like, free strats in this detachment, right? Because Ursula Creed targets regiment units. Yeah. Unfortunate. Oh, we can do it off Scout Sentinels. Oh, chat. Scout Sentinels can give +2 strength and reroll 1s because they have both regiment and squadron. We've done it. And we can do it for free every turn. All right. I'll buy that for $1. That's the one thing I will buy for $1, chat. Also, Scout Sentinel plasma cannons, not good, but maybe. Go to strength 10. That's something. I kind of like it. Cool. So with that, on a relatively positive note, we can talk about Steel Hammer, which is all about making Titanic vehicles good. Oh boy. You got some work cut out for you there, G-Dub. You're gonna have to try pretty hard. They have the Ceaseless Cannonade detachment ability. I mean, we'd have to like see this played out, but I'm gonna level. I feel like this may be in the running for one of the worst detachment abilities of the game. Well, like maybe I'm wrong, but having played Militarum Super Heavies, 90%, they're not that hard to kill when you're engaged in melee from this thing that has like a 72-inch range. Usually you're just dead. It's like 26 wounds, right? It's like an Imperial Knight. Like giving an Imperial Knight the ability to shoot blast weapons into engagement is relatively, it's not like, useless, but it's relatively low use case. Yeah, so they gain the blast ability. So when you shoot into your own melee, so they essentially become like Vindicators, although I think it's better than Vindicator. Oh no, it's the same. Yeah, they can shoot provided no other friendly units are also in the engagement range of the enemy unit, which is a consideration I never really understood, because in the situations where that happens, like just let them do the thing. So like if I, for example, engage 2 Titanic units with one of my units, which may be easier in 11th edition with 2-inch engagement ranges, then neither of them can shoot me. So, all right, sick. Or if I target another unit, one of them's gonna have to fall back. Obviously, like you can fall back one of them. It is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. This ability is in some cases useful, but 90% of the time you're not going to notice it. You're either going to be dead, or there's going to be a situation where you can't really do that much damage, or you want to shoot something else. However, you do. Oh man, I even thought this was better than it was. I said, "Ha." You also ignore engagement range penalty. So if you do get engaged and don't explode, then you're gonna be able to fire without penalty, but that's not what this says. This says while shooting into your own melee, you do not suffer the penalty of hit rolls for being engaged in range. Oh boy. All right. Well, it is what it is. Not that exciting of a detachment ability, chat. If I were a Baneblade aficionado, I would be like, well, I guess I'm going back to Grizzled Company. I get out of phase orders, I get order sequencing, and I get Armor of Contempt. Okay, I guess I'll do that. There is an additional clause here where you gain the character keyword on one or more Titanic units. It's nice that there's no requirement to do that, but if you want enhancements, then you have to. In addition, you have enhancements for Titanic units. One of them is Assault Hatches, which allows you to disembark after the transport has made a normal move and then declare a charge. So you get the Assault Ramp ability from on Land Raider, basically, on your Stormlord, which, as they say, is very good for delivering Bulgrin squads. I imagine that the Stormlord, where did my 39k go? Cannot carry anything cooler. It's interesting that that's like explicitly a melee buff, which I guess is like sort of necessary. I even said they have 26 moves. They have 24. I'm overestimating your survivability, chat. Yeah, it can only target transport infantry, so we can't do things like deliver Rough Rider squads with this, which would be actually kind of sick. So, like, you're delivering Ogren that don't really have any way to get orders, which is, like, fine, but I don't know if it's the most exciting thing in the world. We are taking a 430-point transport with an enhancement in order to do that, and maybe it will change with the new mechanics, but the Stormlord offensive profile is not that exciting. AP1, just getting cucked by cover every time, means that he doesn't really do that much damage. Obviously, like, being able to pack a bunch of heavy weapon teams in the back and use firing deck with them is like something. That's not too bad. So you do end up being a bunch of las cannons being shot out of the back. But yeah, I don't know. It's okay, I guess. Definitely something. How fast do they move 10? I'll move 12. So you can move 15 with this thing. I'm curious to see in 11th edition how conducive the new table layouts are to these heavy vehicles. I have a sneaking suspicion that they're actually going to be kind of difficult to maneuver because the objectives become terrain. They necessarily have like barriers around the corners that are difficult to position these big heavy vehicles around, or these super heavy vehicles around. So I think it might be difficult to push these guys up the table. But we'll see. We'll just have to see how it goes. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll have to play some games with it. So that's fine, I guess. I think Stormlord, like big heavy weapon team caddy with the ability to throw Bulgrin into the fight is neat. However, I would be hoping for more buffs for the other guys. I think, we need defensive stratagems. We need ways to survive around a shooting. We need ways to manipulate like our opponents or react on the opponent's turn. Especially we need ways to be able to like get around intervening terrain features with a model that's like 9 inches long. Engine of Wrath is the other stratagem that they have previewed. However, it improves your attack characteristic in melee. It gives you +6 attacks and +2 armor penetration. However, you select one enemy unit within engagement range and can only attack that unit. I don't really know why it does have that requirement, because I think we're doing that anyway. But it means they go to 12 attacks. It does legitimately mean that, are they really only fucking 1 damage, bro? You're killing me. You're killing me. They're 1 damage. A Riptide Battlesuit is more dangerous in melee than a Baneblade. I mean, I guess like higher damage in melee than a Baneblade. Oh my god. Oh my god. So we go to Strength 8 AP2. It doesn't improve our damage characteristic at all. And it's 12 attacks hitting on 4s. If we if we like order them to get fixed bayonets, we could get like 8 hits on average for a command point and an order. 8 hits at Strength 8 AP2. Like, you wound Marines on 2s, so you like hand them 7 saves, and they like succeed 2 or through 3 of them, so you kill like 2 models. And that's what we spent our command point on. And also, it restricts our targeting. Why? Why does it give you +1 damage even? I don't know, chats. I don't know. The other weird thing is that, like, this feels like maybe if we were charging, we would just tank shock, right? Like, there's no way I'm using this stratagem over a tank shock. Unless I had a bunch of command points floating, which maybe I do. Who knows? However, if we're trying to fight ourselves out of melee, why do we have a detachment ability that gives us buffs while we're in melee? That only works while we're engaged. I don't know. This is only about, whatever, 25 to 30% of the mechanics in the detachment. So...
At Letters from Links donated 20 Swedish krona through Super Chat. Epic Challenge 1 CP equals Precision Baneblade Smile.
Precision Baneblade. Get him! That would be so... If someone does that, they're in for 2 command points, Precision and Engine of Wrath, target my character unit, and they kill my character. Mea culpa. Detachment's good, dude. Like the idea that the Baneblade calls you out for a challenge. Get out of here. I'm gonna fight you. That was like a Doctor Who episode, right? They're like in an arena, and they've like summoned him to do some sort of like Colosseum battle to the death, and he rolls in like on an Abrams or like a Leopard or something. I remember that. Where is that? That is this interaction. I'm just gonna try to find it on YouTube. Oh god. Is this the one? You find the Trying to make sure that the audio plays on the stream. It doesn't matter. The audio is irrelevant. Oh, here we go.
Beyond 6,931 donated $2 through Super Chat. Maximum Overdrive.
This is what's happening when you use Epic Challenge on a main lane. We found out who this detachment is made for. It's exactly this situation. There it is, chat. We figured it out. It's the ability to Epic Challenge with a Baneblade. That's so good. That's so good. Well, I have high hopes for... I have high hopes for the... what is this called? Steel hammer detachment. I am so hyper prepared prepared for those hopes to be dashed because the stuff that they released already is not that exciting, to be perfectly honest, but it is what it is. Like the thing with this engagement range thing, you know, in some cases it is going to help and it is going to like bail you out of a situation, but they also shoot like 20 times outside of their blast weapon. So it's not like they're not doing anything to units engaging them. And if you gave them something like an AOC effect or a situational damage reduction or something like that, where they could survive those situations, that would, I think, improve what you want to do with these tanks much better. Like assault, you know, give them assault, give them the ability to get stuck into the fight and not get stuck behind terrain, or give them super heavy walker or something. You know what I mean? But this is like a mechanic that purely works defensively and only in situations where your opponent has engaged you but underswung. Cool, man. Or fall back and shoot. Give me fall back and shoot, you know? And like fall back and shoot and charge, and I ignore desperate breakout tasks for moving over enemy models. Right? Suddenly, I'm like, oh, so you engage me, and then I just move over you. Which is probably how it should work. I don't care about shooting the pinning unit engaging me. I'm still stuck in melee. Like either I'm stuck there or I'm dead. I don't want neither one of those. What I want to do is just keep rolling forward. That would be sick. This ability, I don't know. This is a miss. We'll see. So I don't know, chat. Anyway, it is what it is, folks. Well, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I guess they talk about when these go live. We'll get to talk about orc detachments tomorrow, which is gonna be sweet. We get a new Cult of Speed detachment. And they are available in the Armageddon Return of Yarg book, which is available from pre-order from Saturday. We'll be able to download them free later in the week. So we'll get a full look at everything these have going on, which is cool. So, all right. Well, I'm excited about that. Hopefully, we'll get a peek and see that our Armored Spearhead here is a little bit, or Steel Hammer is a little bit better than we give it credit for. Anyway, chats, I think it's all the previews that we have to talk about today. I don't believe that there's anything else that we will be doing. I will be live, I think, over the course of the remainder of the week as normal. Don't forget as well, I will be live this weekend starting on Saturday with the, what do you call it? ATC, North Carolina is what I'm going to be live at. So that's going to be fun. I'm heading over there, I think, probably Thursday night to get in by the startup time. And yeah, it's going to be good. It's a 5-player team event. Obviously, the ATC NC typically has, especially if you're East Coast sort of Warhammer Repealed, or I guess Eastern US Warhammer Repealed, that event typically brings a lot of super duper high skill teams to it, and we'll be able to sort of showcase all the team stuff we've been working on recently. Anyway, folks, that'll be it for me today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the super chats and stuff. I appreciate you. Keep it classy, folks. And as always, have wonderfully happy wargaming. Cheers.